Hi, John Erickson here from Advanced Ball Striking. The PGA Championship this last week. Interesting event in that we had a player who came in as a club pro, Michael Block, I believe, Michael Block. Michael Block finishes 15th, top 20, plays great, makes the cut, does really well, and now he's getting to play the next week in the next tournament with a sponsor exemption, I believe. My thought on this is I don't like the all exempt tour. I don't like the 125 player exempt tour. I played in an era where the old tour would have 60 spots exempt. This was when I was playing on the Australian tour, and the PGA Tour before the 125 exempt players was a very open tour. You also had 60 exempt players from the money list the year before, but on Monday they would have a qualifier to get into the PGA Tour events. As of I imagine it's still they have maybe a 4 spot to qualify in the open events, and this has been for quite a long time, probably since I think they went to the all exempt tour in the late 70s or early 80s, somewhere around then. I'm a big supporter of the old way. You would have 20, 30, sometimes 40 spots on a Monday. So, pretty common to have 20, 30 spots open on a Monday. If you have 60 guys exempt in a 144 player field, now 144 player field is, you can only get so many people onto the golf course going out at threesomes at, 8-minute intervals or whatever. So that kind of has been that way for a long time, the kind of 144 players around that in a tournament. I think 60 guys on the money list coming in from the previous year, that's a lot. That's good. That's fair. You play really well. You should make the top 50, top 60. If you're in the top 60, then you get good status the next year. So the concept behind that, the exempt tour, they said, we want to have 125 guys. We want to guarantee them. These guys are trying to make a living. We want to give them some kind of sense of job security. Well, how much job security is it if you miss the cut and you make nothing? They're still not really giving that much job security. You get some money from sponsor exemptions and that sort of thing. Endorsements. Sponsor endorsements from equipment companies, and I had some of that when I was playing. That would help you pay your expenses. But I think if you roll it back to the, you have 60 guys exempt. You have not all of them are going to play every week. You would have 30 or 40 spots open on Monday, and then you've got some extras. That still takes you to 100 players. That's if all the 60 guys showed up, and then you had 40. And then you have the the sponsors can still give away another 40 spots to local guys, other people that they want to, or whatever, to fill out the field. So I think it was a better way, because what it did when you had 20, 30, 40 spots on a Monday, you had a whole nother culture going on where guys would just follow the tour around, and they'd travel in their cars or RVs or motorhomes and that sort of thing. And you didn't have to go out and shoot 64 on Monday or 66 to get in. When I played the Australian tour, I remember one year you shoot 72, and you're in the tournament. You just had to play decent and you were in. If you made the cut, you were in the next week. So this was the same way for the PGA Tour, the old PGA Tour back in the 60s. We'll just say 60s, 70s. If you made the cut, you're in the next week, which makes sense because you can't Monday qualify. You just made the cut. You're playing golf on Sunday. To jump on a plane and have to Monday qualify the next morning on a course you've never seen before, well, that doesn't make any sense. So of course, if you make the cut, you're exempt. So you would have the guys, the 60 exempt players. You'd have all the guys that made the cut before. If you had 60 in ties coming in, and then 40 spots on Monday and some sponsor exemption. What this really did is it kept the dream alive. Now, you have to ask yourself this question. What do you want to see when you go out and see a golf tournament if you're a spectator? Don't you want to see who's playing best now? So if we look at this PGA Championship, Michael Block gets in. Well, he's playing good golf now. The way the tour is set up, well, at least when I was playing, they had a PGA Tour qualifying. I think now you have to qualify and then get on the minor league tour, the Corn Ferry tour. They have to prove yourself out there for a year. You know, a lot can happen in a year. Maybe you're playing good in January, but when summer comes around, June, you're not playing so well. I like this idea of Michael Block playing good now. Like, he gets in, he's playing good. He beat a lot of the top players in the world. He's playing good now, and they're saying, oh, it's a big deal, he's getting in the next week. Well, they just give him a PGA Tour card. Here, you just go play the rest of the year, I think. You know, to have that kind of a performance in a major championship, just give the guy a tour card. I mean, it's a great story. Media loves it. People are going to go out and watch him play. It's good for the tournament. You know, maybe they should have something like that. But I'm not the PGA Tour. I'm not the USGA or anything like that. I'm just giving, you know, my take, being a former tour player. So if you have limited exemptions, it doesn't mean that you don't have job security, because your job security should come from your performance. So if you miss some cuts and you say you don't have a PGA Tour card, but you went out and you Monday qualified and there were 30 spots and you shot 71 or 69, whatever you got in the tournament, and you made the cut, you made another cut, and then you missed a cut, and you got to go back in Monday, and then you go back out and you miss the Monday. Well, you can go home for a while, work on your game, clean some things up. And, if you're a good player, you be sure someone like Tiger Woods is going to, when he was playing well, he's going to get in on those Monday qualifiers about 90% of the time or more. If you have, enough spots, you've got 20, 30, 40 spots on a Monday, you don't have to go out and shoot the course record or anything like that. 4-spot qualifiers that I don't know that I ever went to one on the PGA Tour. I might have, but usually it was two courses, and there were 2 spots at each course. So, I did. I did play in one for, it might have been the LA Open, I think. This would have been, probably in the 80s sometime. And I remember there were 2 courses, Los Serranos down in Southern California. That's where it was. And I remember that because I was playing behind Mac O'Grady that day, so I remembered that. And I remember one of the guys in my group bogeyed the first 3 holes and just walked in. Just went in, because you had to shoot 66 or something to get in, and he just left. He felt like he was just wasting his time out there. I think the old way was better. It kept the dream alive. Okay, here's the key: it keeps the dream alive. And if I'm at my local course, let's say I'm a club pro, and I find, so I pick up a new putter, I'm working on my stroke, I come up with some, I start making all these putts. I want to, if I want to play in a tour event, I want to do it now. I want to jump on a plane, go down to Florida or Texas or wherever the tour is, get in that Monday qualifier, and I'm hot now. And everybody loves these Cinderella stories, loves the story of the guy that gets in on a Monday qualifier and makes the cut and gets in contention. It's just a great story. I don't know why the tour is ignoring this or putting this off and favoring this all-exempt kind of tour, 125 guys. It's just too many guys, I think. If you're top 60, you keep your card and you play all the events. If you finish 61, 70 or whatever, then go back and Monday qualify. If you're a good player, you're going to get in, and if you make the cut, you're going to play the next week. And if you miss the cut, you're out on Friday. So you've got Saturday and Sunday, so you catch a flight out Friday night or Saturday, you can get over there Sunday, play a practice round for the Monday qualifier, and you tee it up Monday. You got a little bit of time to gather your things and take a look, and you get a day to travel and a day to look at the course, go and play your practice round on the Monday qualifier, and go give it a go. And if you shoot a decent score, you play halfway decent, then you should be in the next week. But it keeps the dream alive, not just for the tour players, but for the local guys. And if somebody starts playing good, I don't care if they're right out of college, they don't have a card to come in from another country or whatever. I love the equal opportunity of who's playing good right now, who's playing good now. Okay, the problem with the tour school is the way when I was playing, I think it's different now, but there were 3 stages. This would have been through the probably the 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s. There would be a sectional qualifying, a regional qualifying, and then the finals. And I went. I remember being at the finals down in Texas and missing my card down there. But the thing is, you had to play good at all 3 stages. Well, sometimes you don't play good at one of the stages. You're just off that week, and then you're just out. You have to wait a whole nother year just because of one bad week. I mean, anybody could just have a bad week, and then you got to wait a whole another year to get your card, or go play a whole nother year on some other tour. I think it's a terrible idea. If you're a good player, you should be able to jump on the tour at any time and get right in that event. If you can go out there and Monday qualify, you shoot 69, 70, whatever, you get in that tournament and make the cut in the PGA Tour event. You're beating a lot of the best players in the world. You make the cut. You're in the next week, because obviously you need to be in the next week, because you can't just leave Sunday night after your tournament, fly in and play blind on a Monday qualifier the next morning. You got a 7:30 tee time and you just flew in. That's not right. So yeah, of course, if you make the cut, then you're just in the next week. It was much better setup for professional golf, I think, and it created this whole other culture. I think they used to call it the rabbit culture. The rabbits would be out, the Monday rabbits, and they'd be out there following the tour around. They get to travel the country, and if you missed on Monday, well, you could go out to the next tournament site and maybe get a couple practice rounds in on that Monday qualifier course, and get used to the greens, whether you're putting Bermuda or Bent or Poana or whatever. Get used to the climate, whether you're down in Mississippi or wherever you're at. You have a whole week to kind of adjust and just spend some time and enjoy your life and see the country. And there was a lot of camaraderie and a lot of guys, in campgrounds and all sorts of stuff. It was quite nice, actually. So we had this culture on the Canadian tour when I played. You had Monday guys trying to qualify on Monday. It wasn't that hard to get in. So I remember sometimes a guy would shoot 74 and he'd get in the tournament. This is back in the Persimmon era, blades and all that, tighter courses, smaller greens, all that stuff. So you shoot 74 in a tight little course or whatever. It wasn't really that bad a score. So things are different, but as far as the way the tour being set up, I think it's very good to have more opportunity for everybody to come in on those Monday qualifiers, and this whole idea of protecting players. Hey, this guy you already get a 2-year exemption if you win on the tour, so you're in. This whole idea of protecting these legacy players from a long time ago, I don't think that has any benefit at all. No benefit at all, because if they're playing good, then they could just jump in on the Mondays, and get in the tournament and make the cut. And if you don't have your card, well, who cares? You still have an opportunity, because you need to be out there when you're playing good. And golf, basically, most of the guys, you hit the ball pretty well most of the time. You just wait for the putter to get hot. That's when you start scoring, really, when the putter gets hot. And when the putter's hot, you never know when the putter's going to get hot. For me, it would happen really about 3 times a year. I'd get kind of a little hotter with the putter than I would the rest of the time, and those are the weeks that I was contending to win tournaments, when the putter was kind of hot. And it could happen at any time. There's no magic formula for it. Everybody struggles with their putting. Easier to just kind of hit the ball good every week, reasonably well. The putting thing comes and goes. So when it's there, you just want to jump right in and get out there as a professional. So that's my thought on this. It really, felt heartfelt to me when I saw this Michael Block, getting in the tournament. And I know they give exemptions to some PGA members, or maybe there was a qualifying, or I'm not sure how he ended up in the tournament, but it was unusual that he was there. The fact that he played so well, it just reminded me of a lot of the stories that I saw when I was on the tour, and there were guys that Monday qualified and got in contention. They're in the last few groups, and it was really exciting. I mean, you just can't help but root for these guys, guys that don't have cards, and all of a sudden they're playing against all these great players, and it's great for the tour, the other players, We loved seeing that. We loved seeing a local pro that knew the course and he's doing well. He's in contention. Tasmanian Open. I remember. I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say it was Brett Johns or something like that. But he was a local pro or an amateur in the area, and he was in the leader group on Sunday. And it was really exciting because all the people from the local community gathered and came out to watch him play and to see if he could win the tournament. I don't think he won, if I remember right, but he was, right there. It was really exciting. Everybody loves it. People love that. So, the PGA Tour a long time ago, decided to go to this all-exempt tour. I always thought that was a bad idea. I still think it's a bad idea, and I'm not saying it's ever going to change. I'm not the PGA Tour. I'm not making the rules. But if somebody ever were to start another tour, and now that there is kind of another tour, the controversial tour, maybe there'll be another controversial tour, like a tour that goes back to really more the roots of how it was laid out in the first place. Of course, I'd love to see a classic golf tour, persimmon and blades, and a lot of high spinning golf balls, and shorter courses, smaller greens, and maybe a tour like this. Somebody who's got a bunch of money, contact me. Love to help you out. Love to get something like that going. But anyway, that's it. Just my thoughts. I know it's a little bit off topic. Usually talking about the golf swing and technique, but this one kind of, felt pretty heartfelt to me. Really happy to see this Michael Block having a good weekend, kind of raising awareness about that issue again. So we'll see you again. Advanced ball striking. See you soon.